how did you mentioned a couple times, Vogel saying that you could remember telepathically things that you didn't remember at the time. And you were saying that you were able to operate equipment and do this advanced technology and science and didn't know where that came from. And a lot of experiencers call that downloads, and they have journals where they write, page after page of these formulas or scientific formulas or mathematical equations that they've received, but it came from some other field of consciousness source. So how do you reconcile your brain and the knowledge that we have that you had prior to this event with Michael Tanner? And by the way, thank you for bringing Michael in, good friend. How do you reconcile that with the intellectual growth that you went through this experience and beyond? What is our mind?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I've reconciled that. That's part of ongoing growth. Learning little habits that you can improve on, all that. Isn't that part of why we're humans? I mean, somehow we're here, and we've got various religions and pop psychology and all these self-improvement programs and things that we can get for free or for big bucks or whatever. But in the end, you kind of got to do it yourself too. Have one or two guiding lights or mentors or helpers, and then that's enough. That's enough. It's like having parents. You get 2 good ones, that's enough. You don't need 11 parents. Aunts and uncles have their place. But for me, I rely on the people that I'm around, even if it's learning a science or learning something that I have enough immediate understanding that I can go turn it on and off and know what knob to turn and know what the meter means. But I like to hang out with the people that built that machine. I want them to be right there with them, operating it, telling me more, or even on the day-to-day. If I'm working in something in agriculture, I'm not trained in agriculture. I grew up on a farm with our limited growing and limited number of animals, and not the world of agriculture. But on a day-to-day, I got to surround myself with people that will forgive me for the way that I am, and then proceed to break it out. I need that information now. You got it? So, like Kalinda, whom you know, is my my hitching post. And everybody needs to have a hitching post for their activities and their growth and that. And people that rely on you and you rely on them, and also know what's going on in the other dimensions, the extra dimensional transmissions. How did they pick us? Why me? Hey, I'm trying to write a song here. Okay. Will you come back later? No, I don't need to know about a Josephson Junction right now. Oh, okay. So you can be distracted with all of that, or particularly distracted if you're always waiting for the omen. Send me a sign. I need confirmation. I need confirmation. I merely got the omen. And you're recognizing that it's an omen. Hey, that's another gift or a curse. Isn't it just having an incident enough, and an epiphany? Isn't that enough? Okay, I got it. I'll react. I'll do it. I'll think about it. And you can get off track if you're always waiting for outside help. You can't always get it. And sometimes you don't serve yourself or others well. They're always looking for outside help. What do you think they trained you for in the first place? So one of the harder things to recognize is when it's time to stop waiting for Godot. And I'll do it. If I need help, I'll call up Rebecca Hardcastle or Kalinda or Joe Banana and the Bunch. There's people out there that'll help me when I ask for it. Sometimes it's hard to go ask people because you don't want them to know that you don't know everything. Mr. Know-it-all, what are you asking me for? I'm busy. So getting all that worked out, that's the reckoning part. It's not really reckoning yourself with all of it. It's just dealing with yourself. What you going to do with it now that you got it? And remember, no boasting, no stealing. Although sometimes you do have to prove yourself. That sounds a little bit far-fetched, Dilettoso. You got any proof about that? Happens. So then you need to remember what you did. But I like having survived many of those situations to the degree where there are people that I believe know that I'm straight with them and that they can count on me. If they ask me something, I'll give them the straight scoop. And if we're going to make up a story, it better be a big one and everybody's in on it, okay? Like the movie The Sting, hey, we're all in on it, okay? But I don't really do that. So why do you do this? Well, why do you try to keep other people knowing the straight path? And you have others that work in the technical areas, like Dan, and others that keep people quietly in their own world on the straight and narrow. What is this? What's going on here? What are you up to?
Well, one of the fields I'd like to also ask you about is you can interview me later. How's that? You had a physical experience. You and Michael had a physical experience.
Yes, that one.
It wasn't a mental experience. You went to the hospital. There's hospital records, and looking at that physical experience, how did your contact transform or change or affect, just basically affect how you perceived your physical body? I mean, were you radiated? Were you know a lot about your physical body. Let's just put that out there right now for the listeners. You know a lot about biology. You know a lot about radiation. You know a lot about health.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it to the physical human body. What have you discovered and explored, and how has your body been physically affected by your contact?
I could just go by what's happening to my body, and I've had some physical contact experience, and probably everything in your life path is connected. But you look for similarities, coincidences, maybe they're connected back. My health is, I am able to beat down disorders that others frequently are hurt more by than I am, or they die, had multiple heart attacks and bypass and stents, and then I'm good. I got scars all over neck to belly button, and they cut your chest open with a chainsaw, and then go in there with razor blades and do stuff, and then sew you back up and roll you out on the streets ready to go. And you either recover well or you don't. So I've recovered pretty good. Cancer that I've had, everybody in my group back then is deceased. It's years later, and I'm not deceased. And they may be connected. I'm hoping that the proper diet and exercise that I'm on contributes to that too, as everyone should know about all of that. And I think that if people from other dimensions are helping you, you have an obligation to being in that circumstance, to keeping yourself alive as long as possible. You have an obligation to your loved ones that are around you, that you're always happy to be with, that you're alive for them. They like you. They like me. So, I think that my health is okie doke. Although sometimes I'm in the state of emergency, and I've got hospitals and pills and stuff that they're doing to me, but hey, it all works out, and then I'm ready to go.
Was there any noticeable spiritual effect of your contact, or have you were Catholic, good altar boy? Felt the presence of the priest and the angels? I mean, was there any spiritual?
Yeah. Well, as life went on in the 60s and 70s, I was involved in the music business and the counterculture, as it was called. And I had many thought-provoking experiences with drugs that were illegal then, but are all legal now. It's like, hey, these are good for you. Psilocybin is good for you. Yippee! And now I don't do it anymore. Okay, now that it's legal. But those experiences created an enhancement, let's say, to those open door experiences that were going to happen anyway. Like when I lived in Richmond, Virginia, I lived in an old plantation manor house that had ghosts in it. And it took me, that's where I realized that they couldn't see us. We could see them, that group, but they couldn't see us. And I had a place in Phoenix, various walls and mirrors and old marble walls and floors. And that, again, I could see them. They couldn't see me. And there's many details to all that you need to learn about to protect yourself. Because as below, so above, I always say. Because if we got good guys and bad guys and good and evil and constructive and destructive down here, and there isn't up there, it's up there too. So I don't want evildoers, destructive people coming around my situation, particularly spirits that have their own agenda. I got my own agenda for my spirit. And I don't want anybody tampering with that. the free will that we have. We have the right to make a mistake, lie, cheat, steal, introspect, go, I shouldn't have done that. Improve yourself so you don't do that the next time. And that only exists because you have free will. You have the right to make a mistake, to analyze it, improve yourself, and carry on better. Extraterrestrials, I believe, are mystified by that. I think once my spirit and my intuition became intertwined, and I could call upon my spiritual armor, strength, to help me in a moment-to-moment physical world situation. Damn, we're doing what we're supposed to. We're supposed to call upon the rules of right and wrong to decide not to take that loaf of bread. And like in the olden days, they cut off your hand or put you in jail for stealing bread. Or lying, particularly bearing false witness against your neighbor. That's what it says in that set of rules. Then, in addition to that, they've got those coveting rules. Did you ever wonder about coveting? What? You mean I can't think about it? Thinking about it, the thought form is the same thing as the doing the thing? Why? Why is that? Oh, because the thought forms have power. They have wings. They're the same, cross-transdimensional. The thought form and the thing are the same thing. What a relief. Once you know that, once you got that down, it was, if I think good things, maybe I can enhance making them happen. Better keep the evildoers away. Good and evil is one set of value judgments on the spiritual path and your own path. An easier one to figure out sometimes is constructive and destructive. Is this constructive to what we're doing, or is this destructive? Because some smart, pretty ladies that I've known over the years have been very destructive to my circumstance and to theirs. You can't judge a book by its cover. You got to listen and see, and that takes some strength, takes some inner help sometimes, like the inner strength you need to quit smoking cigarettes. That's a tough one. It addicts you. It gets right down in there and grabs your Krebs cycle of digestion and holds onto it. And it's not letting go just because you say, I'm quitting smoking today. I'm not smoking anymore. Yes, you are. As soon as you, after eating, and so you're addicted. It's strong. It's got you. So you got to go inside, get down there and tamp that down and handle it, including telling your body to store nicotinic acid, niacinamide, B6, and B12, which it stopped storing when you were smoking cigarettes. Back to our day-to-day life, you call upon your spiritual self, provided that you're doing Olympic training. You got to keep improving your spiritual self, because that's a better place to go to get the machine, the chutzpah, the mechanism available to do the right thing. Overall, the long-range plan, although other people might not get it, maybe you don't even get it, but you could call upon those energies to always help you go down the right path. Say, should I steal this or not? Should I lie about this or not? Should I think about stealing this or not? Requires some dynamics that you can get some strength. Spiritual strength is good for right now. Help you do things, not just life after death. I was good, did the good things, so I'm going to live forever. Hey, we're hoping that's true. We think that is true. But what about right now? If I go inside, spiritually draw upon myself to gather strength to go out and do something right better without struggling, you can do it. You can do it the first time. The first time you try it, you can do it. So I learned that. I learned that by saying, hey, if these extraterrestrials are coming inside my mind, seeing what I'm doing, they're going inside of each other's minds all the time, and they never have the opportunity to have free will and make a mistake and improve themselves because everybody knows what they're up to. So we humans can, in one lifetime, go from being a pimp to an avatar. Not that being a pimp is all that bad. I've never been a pimp. Experiencers can use that as a signal that you can cross over, have some help to come back in, get some strength, bring it back in and apply it in day to day. Whether you're inventing a gadget or you're trying to have grandma feel better about things before she passes over. Whatever thing you're doing, do it well, do it good. And that's all I have to say about that topic.
Well, now you're bringing up the issue of co-creation. So going out there, bringing in help. How much of your work has been just Jim, and how much of it is Jim plus? And how does that work?
It's always Jim plus. Plus the people around me, like a band having a jam. We have a jam, it's improvisational, you're making it up right then. And when it's good, it's because of everybody in the band, in the jam band, not because of you. Even if you're the one that selected everybody to come, you can do that, and that's not going to guarantee it's going to be good. Camaraderie is usually good, but it takes others. When I do assume the thinker pose, try to think something out myself and concentrate and come up with it, I'm not as good at it as I am with others, working on or passing it around or all at the same time. Engineering meetings, for example. But setting yourself up to have an epiphany is a thing I like to do. Let's go for a walk. Or, as I call it, Walterizing. When I was little kids, Walter Russell and his wife Leo were benefactors of our school. And every now and then we'd get to go up there and see them, and they were nice to us and showed us things. And he would explain about focusing on things by raking the leaves, picking the flowers off the marigold flowers in the greenhouse, waxing the big tile marble floor in the big room there and counting them all, and how that equates to arithmetic, is all getting ready to when you're going to go in to the chapel and you're going to have an epiphany. An epiphany, it comes to you in one swelled foop, comes right in, and you go, oh, that's what it is? Now you got it. You did it. You got it. So you thought it up. Yeah, okay. You saw the vision, and your ability to repeat it is you thought it up. Okay. Take that. Say, okay, that's a gift. Thank you. You don't have to explain it. That's what Marcel Vogel said. It just would come to him. Just come to them. If you get set up ready, whether it's wearing the right outfit and the right incense or playing the right music or going to the right sunset or walking a certain dog, or as we do, we walk our cat, our daughter's cat, a nice little harness, take it out on a leash and walk this ocelot cat. It's really fun. But it sets you up for you doing it as an epiphany versus grinding it out. But you got something big that you need to do, have an epiphany, and then go get a group together. Smart group. And or it doesn't have to even be smart about certain things they're acquainted with. So I think that the things that I've come up with, so to say, are because of the people that I'm with, people that I surround myself with, or they're already there and I go get in their group or whatever, and bigger things happen. You got to be comfortable with that. No fear. You got to make sure you got the right group and you're not afraid somebody's going to rip you off. You're stealing my idea, man. Well, where'd you get it in the first place? If it's a universal principle, well, then you're borrowing it from there. You didn't invent that or make that up. So everybody gets it. Don't be afraid of it. Never fear that, except if it's an evildoer. You keep all the evildoers out, make your own group. Have a good scoutmaster. And I do that as much as possible. Sometimes I make a mistake and I've surrounded myself with 3 or 4 people that are up to no good for years. And you're around them for years before you realize that they're not on your side. They got their own thing. In fact, they're taking your stuff and pretending that they did it. Okay. Gotta take the wheat with the chaff, or is it the chaff with the wheat? And the project that I'm on now gives me a lot of energy and drive, because you can see the results right now. It's all people around me that I get. I used to be afraid to go to the old guys, that were the experts in their field when I was in my 30s. Now I'm afraid to go to the young guys. The programmers and the AI engineers and electronic circuit designers are all in their 20s and 30s. You gotta be able to go see them. And I struggle with that sometimes. I don't want to go ask someone. They're probably too busy. But if you got a couple of go-to people, go to them and say, hey, I need to get Sarah McCoven to come over and be in this. You got any advice for me? Say, don't be afraid to ask for the advice.